Episode 191 starts now. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Flobo, and it's early yet. It's early for me. It's still 6:30 in the morning, which is not early unto itself, but it's early for me to put the broadcast voice on. Before I get into that, just want to say thank you so much for checking out this episode and all the other episode and what up, Flobo, Canon, and more right here on that YouTube channel, youtube.com/Flobo Voice. That's me, FLOBOBOYCE, and the book. Graduation Day is now available, still available on Amazon. Make sure you pick that up if you want to know more about what made me the man I am today, etc., etc., etc. So, Tuesday mornings are a little bit earlier for me. I usually get up at 5 o'clock in the morning on Tuesdays, which is kind of like a subjective thing because I typically get up at like 6:45. And I know there's a lot of people, millions of people are already up working out and solving the world's problems before I even get up. But it is a different one for me because of the show I'm on, the Mac Mania podcast, part of the Ringer Wrestling Network, available wherever you stream your podcast, but a Spotify original. It was kind of like the situation of like, wow, I have to get up, got to warm up the vocal cords to be able to appear to the eventual listeners that I've been up all day thinking about nothing about professional wrestling. And so that's been a slight challenge. I say challenge not in a way to complain, because frankly, being able to chat wrestling with my best friends are pretty amazing. There's a lot of worse things on the planet, but it's a challenge as far as making perfect use of my time, because there's one side of the spectrum where I get up and I'm like, I just want to stay in bed. Well, do nothing. I just want to stay in bed. Just lounge out till showtime. But there's another side of me that's like, no, I should be running 10 miles and balancing every checkbook and stuff everything I can in 2 hours, because it's house money time. It's bonus time. And I guess from my experience, I think now it's entering my second month in the show. I think it's worthy of saying there's a bit of balance. I know a lot of times, especially on those frustrating days where I have meetings every 90 minutes, you either have that same dynamic of trying to, I got that morning gunk going, excuse me, get that same dynamic of trying to either stuff everything in that down period to be productive, or you end up lounging and then regretting doing anything at all, or regret not doing anything at all. It doesn't go away no matter what time of day it is. So when I first started, I was like, oh man, I got to get up, and I used to run around the neighborhood. It was dark then. It's even darker now with daylight saving time about to be ending, and then coming back and like trying to pay some bills, or coming back and try to do emails and stuff like that. But I found myself like eyeing the clock to call time. Like I felt like I was on this constant pressure to get as much stuff done in this 2 hour period. And then I did the opposite. I did the lounging in bed. It's like, well, it's my time. It's my wake up time, which is great, but I kind of felt like I wasted it. And I know it's a personal thing, but it's always, to me, productivity is the balance between not stressing yourself out and feeling you're getting things done, right? That's when I hit peak productivity. That's when I feel like I'm at my most best, I guess, my most prime thing. So the past couple weeks, I've been trying to do more of a balance. I said I'm gonna do 2 things or 3 things when I get up, and one of them has to be make my coffee, because I put the caffeine. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get going. This is actually, for those who partake, this is actually a Costa Rican blend, Terrasu blend, private selection, so store brand, but still pretty good. I told myself 2 things. You get to do 2 things and then send it yourself before you go live. And sometimes it's answering my DJ business emails or meditate. Sometimes, like today, I worked out. I did all of my strength training. Now I might go run later, but I did all my strength training now, and I'm recording this episode. Those are my 2 things. I got something like my biceps in there, and now I'm recording this episode with the Flobo to show you guys what it is, how I try to operate in the morning, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do my thing. So it's Tuesday morning with What's Up Flobo airing Wednesday. And on Wednesdays, I usually get up around 7 and I just do emails, and I kind of just have my to-do list based on what day I need to do. The reason why I'm sharing the 2 things is because I say it's productive for me, maybe different for you. What are those 2 things you can get done within that time period, but makes you feel as if you got things done? Whether it is not necessarily answering emails, but answering that one email that person you're putting off, or researching that new product for your business, or that new way of selling that product for your business, or what that other thing is, calling that person you've been putting off. It's always good to think of it that way. Just cover things. Don't try to cram. Don't try to lounge. After the show, pretty much I'm gonna go for a run and probably do some other work that day. But that's kind of for me right now. In other news and other things that I'm working on personally, I went to see the James Bond movie 2 weeks ago. I saw No Time to Die. I ended up liking it. The first half an hour, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best Bond movie of all time." And even though my excitement waned at the end, it was still a net positive. But I bring that up because before that, I think I've been to like one other movie or two other movies in the theater, and it's kind of a coming back process for me. I've been lucky enough and fortunate enough to be in relatively empty theaters with good space. I went with friends all the times actually. The three times I went back to the theaters, I went with friends all three times, but it wasn't too crowded. So I'm getting used to the things I used to do all the time. Because before the pandemic, I was totally that guy that would go on a Tuesday morning, much like this one, while I'm recording this, and just sit up at the 11 o'clock show every week, eat all the day old popcorn, just trying to get used to that process again and what that looked like and what movies are it's like worth it. You know what I mean? Because there's always a time where you're like, oh, I got the time. Let me go see a movie. You go to the movie and you say, okay, what do you guys have? I'll watch this. But now it's definitely like I can wait. I can wait. Oh, well, I want to see that movie in the theater. Like James Bond. Okay, I'll see that movie. Fast and Furious. Okay, I'll see that movie. And I saw Shang-Chi. Those are the three movies. I saw Fast 9, Shang-Chi, and the Ten Rings, and now James Bond. I go, all right, that's worth it. So that's kind of like a dynamic flip for me, right? Just to be like, oh, okay, is this worth seeing? Is it okay? Will I risk, quote unquote, seeing it? And I'm fully vaccinated. In fact, I'm getting the booster next week because it's available. And if it's available and I'm self-employed and no one's gonna pay my medical bills if I get sick, so I'm gonna minimize my risk personally. That is my choice. I'm not lording over you to do it yourself. I'm just saying. I know that still you want to be as safe as you can. I still wear my mask at gigs, even though less and less people are doing so. And when I do things, I think about concerts, I think about loud gathering, I think about sporting events. It's kind of a balance. Like I went to SummerSlam in Vegas, and I think 50,000 people went. A lot of people went to that show. And I got there about 45 minutes after doors open. I made sure to sort of leave like in the middle of the last match, even though it's something I really wanted to see, just to make sure I had an open path out. And my row wasn't too packed in. Like I'm kind of still that way. Like I'm willing to do it, but I want to make sure that I'm not just putting myself in the thick of it just to say, hey, it's over, because I want to be able to go to have my gigs. I want to be able to get up on Tuesday mornings and contemplate whether or not I want to hang in my bed or go do two things every 90 minutes. Well, let me know what you're comfortable with. What are you working on? Of course, in the comments below. Tell a friend about the show. Hey, mama, episode 191 of Wassup, Flobo. This one's recorded on Tuesday morning. Probably the time you get this to be Wednesday morning. I just want to say it's your weekly slice of Flobito life. What's Up, Flobo After Hours is in its last 3 episodes, with November 22nd being the last one. As I mentioned before, if you're available that time at 10 p.m. Pacific on that 22nd of November, come through. We're going to have ourselves a dope going away party. All right, I'm out of here. I'm trying to get ready for the Mac Mania podcast, the Spotify original, available on the Ringer Wrestling Podcast Network.